I would definitely say thank you. Thank you for my childhood. Well, really not childhood. Early adolescence is when I started getting obsessed, and Harry Potter was a huge part of junior high. Although I was introduced to it in late elementary school, junior high, and high school, and college. And I will admit, as a child, and a teenager, specifically as a child, I was very poorly treated, teased, sad, very depressed, deep, deep depression for a very long time. And fantasy and worlds like this have always been somewhere I've escaped to. I escaped into my own creative fantasy worlds as a child. Ones that I would love to get published someday. But when I got into Harry Potter, it was this world that was spectacular to exist within. And as someone that was lonely and didn't have friends around and had a few people that would barely talk to her at school, having some place just to explore and plan and read and look forward to and enjoy these movies and live in these characters' lives and wonder and contemplate. It was fantastic for me in my teens to have that. I remember borrowing book after book from people, and was kind of lucky because I ended up getting into this point with 4, 5, and 6, I believe, where I ended up getting to borrow them from this girl from school, Wendy, and she would let me borrow them, and the way it worked out, because it was right when 5 came out, and I wanted to know who had died, even though I hadn't read the 4th one yet, and so she was lending me books, and I got to read, and then 6 came out, and then she lent me 6, and then I remember just sitting there, and it's the first time ever where I didn't have the ability to read on, and how frustrating it was, because I didn't have the book in my hand, and I wanted to know what was going to happen, and what was going to happen with Harry and Ginny and Ron and Hermione, because the 6th one's all relationships, and for a very long time, the 6th one was always like my favorite. And I wonder if it's because it's the only one that left me hanging, really. I don't know, it was pretty cool. And something I just didn't get a chance to experience. Otherwise, 3 was the first book I read before I got to see the movie. And I remember finishing the last chapter on the way to the movie because I had to read the book, because the first 2 books, although really close to the movie, were better, and I wanted to read this book and have the picture in my brain before I finished it. And I remember being so disappointed because 3 is so different, and that really affects why I don't like the 3rd movie. Although I've relented a little as a movie at school. I don't like it as an adaptation, but I've had these emotions, and buying my cosplay thing to go get the last book and having somebody at church tie before I went, which at the moment didn't feel weird, and then I realized I've been at church in my Harry Potter costume, but whatever. And waiting in the line and doing the party stuff and talking to fans and living in the world, and people asking what ship am I? I'm like, oh, I like Harry and Ginny and Ron and Hermione. Like, oh, you're canon. And then saying, well, for a minute I was thinking Harry and Luna, but I like Ginny. And just all these exciting, fun things. I remember this girl with really curly hair who was a Ravenclaw. These jerks came in, these full-grown men for some reason decided to come to her, and everyone's fun, and they came in and started saying, I know what happens, because I live in California and everything's different. So people all over the world had already gotten a hold of the book. And this girl, I assume was in junior high yells at him and chases them out and is kicking them. And people cheer, and it's ridiculous because this girl is going after these full-grown men. And then I randomly bumped into her again at a bookstore, which is sadly closing, but it was just, this world is so cool. And then really getting into the fandom and going to, at the moment, my first and only Wizard Rock show, but I got to meet Alex Carpenter and I got to meet Darren Criss, and it was really cool. And being a part of the online communities and fan pages on Facebook and YouTube and Pottercast, and I just really listened to MuggleCast twice now, and I'm kind of probably addicted there too. And it's been such a part of my life, and as the kid that was left out, teased and alone, I definitely know what it feels like to be the underappreciated group, and I definitely felt like a Hufflepuff my whole life. And so Hufflepuff has definitely been something, just having it exist and being something I could cling to and be proud of being part of that group, and being proud of being a loyal person and compassionate and someone that's just going to stay there and follow through. And it's awesome to have that. And a lot of people tease the Hufflepuffs, but I think caring about other people, accepting them into the group, whether or not they're the best or not, and loyalty and hard work, I think those are important and wonderful things. And if I don't get it on Pottermore, I'm going to be so sad because I've spent all this money on my new cosplay outfit and I love it. Though I'm hoping I can ask the hat. And the cool thing is, Joe, thank you. You gave me this world that when I didn't really have friends and I didn't have people, I had this world to escape into, to enjoy. When I had problems at home, I could put on a movie or listen to Wizard Rock or read a book, and I had escape and I had somewhere to go, and it was a blessing and a beautiful thing. And in recent times, I've been able to share it with some of the best friends I've ever had. When I went to university, I met these awesome people, and I've had friends since, before then, and some of them are very special and very dear to me, but it's the first time I really felt like a part of a group of people. And bless them, they cosplayed for me twice. With both Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. We went in groups, and we went in a group, and we saw the first time I spent over $200 on tickets. They paid me back, but the second time it was a slightly smaller group of people. But to have a group of people that act silly and dress up, and before the 7th movie came out, because we had 2 friends who had never really been introduced to the world, we watched all 6 movies. And although I know everyone was having fun with it, I know a lot of that had to do with just, doing something I was happy with and something that meant something to me. And getting to share what was once, escapism, because I didn't have that group of people with the group of people God's given me has been amazing and very special. And I'm so grateful to Joe for creating this world that means everything. It's beautiful, and it's good and evil, and there's these metaphors. And in fact, I used one of these metaphors in a video, and I've talked about Potter so much and done so many things with my fan fiction, this and that I've had several people on YouTube email me saying that I've helped them spiritually, even though most of the time it's not in a spiritually based video, just because I'm this Christian who loves Potter, and that I've gotten to help people just for liking something is amazing. And I got an email from someone, and the viewer is more specific with metaphors and stuff, that said she prayed to open her life up to God, and these are awesome and spectacular things, and it's a blessing for that to be a part of my life. And sure some people might think it's silly that a 22-year-old likes these stories about someone that's, 17 and younger, and just these movies and plays dress up. But Hogwarts, is a beautiful idea, and I actually called my friends after graduation. I made this video, and I called my college hope the Hogwarts of my yard, and just getting to live in imaginary friendships for a while before I had really developed a group of friends. It sounds so pathetically lame, but it meant a lot. And so, Joe, happy birthday. Thank you for giving me a beautiful place to call home. And, imaginarily. And something fun and exciting. And something I'm never going to stop loving and probably going to annoy my kids to death with. But thank you. Joe, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Harry. Spectacular character. And if anyone would look at any of my characters, the smallest fraction of the way I look at Harry and his friends, it would be awesome. Okay, guys, I love you all. God bless. And I will see you on Tuesday for Testimony Tuesday. Bye.